Great. Okay. So either with legs out flat in a Shavasana, or bring your feet to the floor so we get a little bit more grounding through your back. Let's take a moment to have a little shuffle, get the shoulders settled, get your back settled. Just become aware of all 10 toes into the floor. Just give the toes a little wriggle and a stretch out. Just gently, if your knees are bent, then just wriggle the knees from side to side a little bit, just acknowledging your pelvis on the ground. And then either the hands out at the sides of the body with palms up to the ceiling, or resting the hands onto the lower belly. Just beginning to deepen into the breath. Just really consciously finding that full intra-abdominal pressure with the breath, that full diaphragmatic breathing, sensing the movement through the lower, deeper abdominals, through the side ribs, the back ribs, the chest. Keeping the breath moving through the nose so that the muscles around the neck stay relaxed. Just notice now, after even a few breaths, if you can just soften some tension away from the body. Notice if you can let go of something in your back, or your forehead, or the jaw. Just finding that sense of softness and ease through the body so that we can find that loosening up, that freedom, allowing the energy of the body just to move a little bit more freely. Bringing a sense of ease and awareness. Maybe this is the first time you've kind of checked in with yourself today. So just acknowledge how your body is feeling on a physical level. Or how you're feeling on an energetic level. And how you're feeling on a more emotional, psychological level. If there's anything that comes into awareness, maybe just using that to bring an intention to your practice. How would you like to feel at the end of your practice? And see if you can maybe work with that intention as we move. So if your legs are out flat in a Shavasana, then I invite you now to bend the knees so your feet are on the ground about hips distance apart. And again, just spread the toes open, just connect all of the toes into the floor with a little wriggle as though you're wriggling them through sand on a beach. And then begin to rock the knees from side to side, making it a little bit bigger now. So we start to bring a bit of a rotation through your back and through your spine. Allow both knees to drop all the way down to the right, and as you do so, extend the left leg out a little bit straighter, so that you extend out through the heel of the leg. That's it, and then bend the knees again, come through center as you inhale, and as you exhale, drop the knees over to the left and extend the right leg out, pushing out through the heel. Inhale as you bend through center, exhale to drop again to the right, extend the left leg out. Keep that going at your breath pace. Feels a little bit like you're doing the can-can. Go with it. Making the breath as strong as feels good. Take about one more either side, making sure you're kind of even. And then holding center. Bring the knees in towards your chest. Just hug the hands or the arms around the shins. And take a little rock side to side just to massage your back into the floor. Again, keeping that sense of ease and softness through the body. I'm going to switch on the core a little bit, so that's all fired up, so then the extremities of the body can loosen as we move through the practice. So interlace the hands together around the back of the head. We'll work with the twisting abs. So bring the legs into 90 degrees, fan the toes open so your big toes feel active, activating the arches of the feet. Will connect to the same fascia as the pelvic floor to make sure your big toes stay active as we move through these abs. Lift the head and shoulders away from the ground, lifting from the elbows, the triceps, and the armpits. So you get that wrapping of the shoulder blades around the ribs. And before we move anything else, just check that your knees are stacked above the hips, but then pull the sacrum into the floor, that top rim of the sacrum. So that lower, flatter part of your lower back is connected to the ground. We want to maintain that connection. So stay where you are, relax the neck, take a full breath in. Now as you exhale, reach your elbows towards the left thigh, reach the right leg forwards and away from you. Stay active through the toes. As you inhale, bring everything back into the center. And as you exhale, reach the elbows towards your right thigh, extend the left leg away from you. Inhale to come through center. Exhale, elbows to left, reach the right leg away as far out as you can. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, elbows to right, extend out through the left as far out as you can. Keep that sacrum pulling down. Inhale to center. Exhale to twist, holding here this time. Now make sure your right leg is about 2 or 3 foot off the floor, which is going to help you maintain that sacrum connection to the ground. Then pull the abdominals down again, like you're trying to tuck the tailbone. Then inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, reach elbows towards the right and the left leg extends out. Again, just pause here. You can take another breath or hold the breath. Keep that leg, again, 2 or 3 foot off the floor. Pull the sacrum into the ground. Pull the abdominals down towards the spine. Inhale to come through center. Exhale, elbows to left, reach the right leg forwards, pausing, tuck the tailbone, pull the abdominals down, activate the glutes as well, so draw the sit bones towards each other. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, elbows to right, reach the left leg forwards, pause to tuck the tailbone, push out through the big toe, pull the abdominals down and squeeze the glutes. Inhale, come through center, one more either way. Exhale, elbows to left, reach right leg forwards, glutes on, belly down, lift your left elbow higher so you're not leaning into the shoulder blade. Inhale to come through center. Exhale, elbows to the right, reach the left leg away, belly down, glutes on, elbow lifting. Inhale to come through center. Keep the feet floating, just rest the head to the floor, let the arms come out to the sides into a bit of a T shape. Let both knees soften all the way down to the right. So again, you come back into that twist. Either keeping the knees bent, or you can extend that top leg out. Maybe your right hand can catch the leg or the heel. Just taking any variation into the twist here. Just taking a couple of breaths. And again, I want you to really feel into that intra-abdominal pressure from the breath coming right down into that lower space of the abdominals, the side ribs, the chest. Take a bend of that knee, sweep the knees through center as you inhale. Exhale, soften both knees down to the left. And again, you can either keep the knees bent or extend the top leg out, catch hold of it if we can. Take a couple of breaths, breathing fully through the torso. And slowly bend the knee, bring the knees back center. Scoop the knees in towards your chest. And then taking 2 or 3 rocks through your spine. So take a couple of rocks coming through. So again, you get that little massage through your back, a little bit of building into the core. And maybe on the 3rd one, we rock all the way up, come straight over the knees. So we come into all fours. Spread the fingers open into the floor. And just circling the shoulders around the hands a little bit. So you acknowledge your weight through each of the fingertips, kind of like we did with the toes, just getting awareness through the body. Change the direction. And then holding shoulders over wrists, start to turn that into your cat and cow. So inhale, lift you through to that back bend phase, arching the spine. Exhale, rounding through to that cat stretch, pushing the spine to ceiling. Keep it going a few times at your own breath pace. With as much movement through the spine as you can. Remembering any intention that you set at the start of the practice. How do you want to move? Holding to my back center. Now keep your left hand rooted into the floor. The right arm's going to reach out to the side and up to the ceiling. So bring in these thread the needle twists. As you exhale, thread the right arm underneath that left armpit. Inhale to come all the way back open again. And exhale, threading back underneath. Inhale to lift. Exhale, threading under. Rest the head and the shoulder on the ground this time. And just see if you can extend maybe your left leg back so the knee lifts, but the toes stay on the floor. Now, see if you can keep that leg, the knee lifted, as you unravel the twist again. Reach that right arm back up to the ceiling and continue with those breaths with that threading under. So the right arm reaches back out under left armpit again and keep it going with your breath pace. If you want to up level again from here, see if your left foot can maybe float off the ground. So you're resting just on your right leg and your left hand, and you're unraveling and unraveling that twist. Work with the breath. Take about one more. And then place that right hand back down to the floor and the left leg down to the floor. Keep the toes tucked to the back of the leg long. Unravel your right shin out to the side, drop the back heel, and left arm lifts up to the ceiling. So you come into that supported side plank. Take big circles with the arm, doesn't matter what shape or which direction they go in. Just think about loosening up through the whole of the shoulder. Maybe you get that stretch going around the back and the front of the shoulder, around the neck, changing the direction, whichever way you're going. And then float that left palm back to the floor, bring the knee to the ground. Switching sides of those thread the needle twists. So keep both knees on the floor to start with. Right palm stays rooted. Left hand lifts up, take a breath in. And exhale, threading underneath. Inhale to lift. Exhale to thread. One more, inhale to lift. Exhale to thread. Place the shoulder and your head to the floor. And then maybe extending that right leg so the knee is lifted. Keep the toes tucked onto the ground for support. Press through that right hand so you unravel the left one again, breathing in as it lifts up. Exhale to thread back under. Keeping that going at your breath pace. And again, if you want to up level it from here, float the right toes off the floor. So now you are balancing on the left knee, the right hand, and you're still breathing with those rotations. Last one. Placing the left hand down to the floor, the toes down at the back. Turn out that left shin so the right arm lifts up this time. And again, make those big circles with the arm going either direction, any shape, any way. Changing the direction. That's really loosening up through that shoulder, through the neck. And then float yourself back into all fours. Tuck the toes, lifting the hips up into your downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths to paddle the feet, or swing the hips side to side. Then as you next inhale, roll forwards and towards a plank position. As you exhale, half chaturanga, knees and chest down. Slither forwards and up to your cobra. And exhale, make your way back into your downward facing dog. The half vinyasa again. So inhale, roll forwards to plank. Exhale, half chaturanga. Inhale, forwards and up cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Once again, inhale to plank. Half chaturanga, exhale. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Begin then to walk your feet towards the hands at the top of the mat, going into forward fold. Just hanging out here in Uttanasana, so take a little bit of swaying or rocking. If the hamstrings and back are free from injury, then hold on to elbows and swing the body to and from the legs to get really loose through that lower back. Now allow the fingertips to find the ground in front of your toes. That might mean you take a bend in the knees to find the ground. Lift the left arm up towards the ceiling. Take a deeper bend into that right knee. Try and keep the left leg straight. Look up towards the left hand. And the more you can press down through those right fingertips, move the shoulders, get a little bit more spiral. Take another full breath in into the chest space. And as you exhale, float the left hand back to the floor, switching sides of that. So right arm sweeps up into that rotation. Take that bend into the left knee. The right leg is now straight if we can. Lifting the gaze without straining the neck. And then really press into the ground with those left fingertips so the chest feel open. Take a really big breath in. And as you exhale, float the right hand back to the floor. Wriggle the feet together, so now your big toes are touching. Take a deep bend into the knees and come into your chair pose, Utkatasana. So keep the palms about shoulder width apart, but spread the fingers open, like we did with the toes in your abs. Keep the fingers really stretching out, opening the ligaments of the wrists. Soften the shoulder blades down, so you can feel armpits hugging in towards the cheeks, so those shoulder blades wrap around the rib cage, nice and strong through that serratus muscle. Take a really big breath in. As you exhale, palms together, bring your right elbow towards your left thigh, pressing them in gently. So thumbs come in towards the heart center. Again, lift the gaze towards that left elbow point. Feel the breath come into the belly and feel the exhales really squeeze those abdominals in towards the spine. On your inhale, bring the hands up and through center, stretching the fingers open. Exhale, palms together, left elbow to right thigh, pressing that resistance to get that deepening of the rotation. Inhale, come back up through center, stay in your chair pose. Exhale, come into Uttanasana, forward fold, straightening up the legs. Halfway lift as you inhale, reach the chest forwards. Exhale, step right leg back to hind knee, place the knee down to the floor. Reach the hands to the ceiling, just one breath in. As you exhale, take your chaturanga, half or full. Keep breathing out until you blow it. Inhale, forward and up, cobra or upward facing dog, shoulders down. Exhale, come into your downward facing dog, shoulders wrapped. Take 2 breaths. Deep inhale for 1. Exhale. Deep inhale for 2. Exhale. Lift the left leg up, take a full breath in. As you exhale, step through to between the hands. Again, place that right knee down to the floor. 1 breath to lift the arms up, full breath in. Exhale, pushing through that left foot to lift you to your forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, soften into legs, left leg steps back, place the knee to the floor. Reach the hands up as you inhale. Exhale, chaturanga, half or full. Lifting the chest open, inhale. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale for 1. Exhale. Inhale for 2. Exhale. Right leg lifts up, breathing in. Exhale, step through to between the hands and again place the back knee to the floor. Lift the arms, breathing in. Exhale, forward fold at the top of the mat. So push through that front foot to lift you. Halfway lift as you inhale. Exhale, fold into the legs slowly, then rolling up to standing. Take your time as you come up. Run up, rolling through the spine. Inhale, bring the arms around to the sides and up to the ceiling. And exhale to refold through to the feet. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, right leg steps back, place the knee to the floor. We're going to add a twist into this lunge this time. So bring both arms to the ceiling. As you exhale, turn the shoulders towards the left. So you turn in towards that front leg. Reach the arms out wide, palms facing the ceiling so that you can keep the shoulder blades down. Reach even longer through the fingertips. Squeeze the belly to the spine. And on your next inhale, bring everything back center, lift the fingers up. Keep the hip bones facing the front of your mat, but exhale, turn the shoulders towards the right side this time. Same thing with the hands, palms facing up, stretch the fingers open and away from you. Inhale, lift everything back up to the center again.
Exhale, turn again to the left. This time, bring the back of your right hand to the outer side of that left leg. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, press hand and leg together so the shoulders get that little bit of extra squeeze around. Feel that left shoulder blade move closer into the spine. And maybe the gaze can turn back to look at that left hand. On your next inhale, unravel the twist, reach the hands up to the ceiling. Exhale leads you through chaturanga, so big breath out. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale to downward dog. Inhale for 1. Exhale. Inhale for 2. Exhale. Lift the left leg up to the ceiling. And bend the knee and open the hips out to the side. Try again to keep the shoulders square to the floor. So again, we find that rotation through the spine. The hips, so the pelvis is opened, the shoulder girdle stays square. Inhale to straighten up the legs, square the hips up again. Exhale, step through to between the hands. Keep the back knee lifted this time. Push through the front heel to lift the hands up to the ceiling. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, come to forward fold at the top of the mat. Halfway lift as you inhale. Exhale, soften to the leg. Step the left leg back behind you. Place the knee down to the floor. Inhale to lift the arms to the ceiling. As you exhale, we rotate towards the right. Palms are facing ceiling so the shoulder blades can come down. Lengthen through the arms. Next inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, turn just the shoulders to the left. Keep the hips facing front, reaching out through the hands. Inhale, lift the hands through center. Exhale, turn again to the right. Take the back of your left hand against the outer side of right thigh. Full breath in. Exhale, press hand and leg together. Reach further around through that rotation. See if the gaze can turn towards that right hand. Think slightly tucking the tailbone or stay long through that lower spine. On your next inhale, unravel, reach the arms high, and long exhale takes you through to the chaturanga. Good. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale for 1. Exhale. Inhale 2. Exhale. Lift the right leg up, breathing in. Bend the knee, open the hips. And again, think hips really opening, but shoulders or armpits staying square to the mat. As you inhale, lift the toes back up again, square the hips up. Step through to between the hands, keep the back knee lifted. Reach the arms high, take a full breath in. Exhale, forward fold at the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, soften into the legs. Make sure the big toes are touching. Take a deep bend into the knees. Come back into your chair pose and holding there. Really think pulling the abdominals in as you exhale and see if you can soften through the shoulders. Again, all that energy and strength stay around the core. The softness is around the shoulders and the neck. Remembering maybe your intention that you set, just whatever you wanted to feel through the practice. See if you can bring that in. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, bring the palms together, the right elbow against the left thigh. So again, we come back to that Uttanasana twist. Now keep the knees pressing together. See if you can pick up the right toes off the floor. So that right heel squeezes up towards the buttocks. From there, see if you can send that right leg slow as you can. Back behind you, keep it floating, floating, floating. And then the toes, reach down into a lunge, keep the twist if you can. Good, holding that twist. Either staying here for another couple of breaths, or maybe open out the hands. So those right fingertips reach to the floor, left fingertips reach to the ceiling. So you can keep that right arm on the outer side of the thigh. So like we did earlier, use the resistance to help your shoulders rotate. On your next inhale, softly unravel your twist, reach the arms up to the ceiling, and exhale brings you round into warrior 2. Palms facing up to the ceiling. So again, we get those shoulder blades to come down the back. Look forward towards that left palm. Sink deeper into that left knee, make sure the knee is going over the toes. So if you glance down, you should be able to see that left big toe. Bring that into reverse warrior. Right hand resting lightly to right leg. Left hand follows back behind you. See if the gaze can lift to the fold of your left elbow. That might mean you need to bring that left arm forwards a little bit. Feel how that plugs the shoulder blade in. On your next inhale, come back through warrior two, and then into extended side angle, so float it around the other way. Using that left forearm to pull the thigh back and think slightly tucking tailbone. So again, you lengthen through that lower spine. Now as you next inhale, I'm going to turn around so you can see, come back through to your warrior two, and wrap the left arm over the right. So we come into eagle or Garudasana arms. So either holding onto shoulders or finding that double wrap. Good, reach the elbows forwards and up. So you feel the shoulder blades really spread open, but soften the head forwards a little bit so there's nothing held in the neck. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, lead with the points of the elbows as you come into a fold to between your warrior two legs. Your torso can and will lean towards your left foot a little bit, but try to keep your shoulders facing the long edge of the mat rather than towards your left foot. So really nice and deep into that leg. So you can get the point of the elbows to just skim against your mats. Even deeper, Izzy. Yeah. Really full breaths or strong breaths. Gently unravel the arms and hands come to the floor and come into your wide leg forward fold, Prasarita. So just rotating that left foot so your feet are now parallel. Taking a few breaths here, so keep any soft movement into it if you want to. Find any variations of your Prasarita, if you want to hold on to toes or walk the arms through the legs. I don't mind. Just relax the neck. Remind yourself of your intention if there was one. Bring the hands back under the shoulders. Heel to your feet in a little bit closer together. So come more into that horse stance or goddess squat. Take a deep bend into the knees. A slight turn out with the feet with knees tracking over the toes. Bring the hands up to heart center. Good, and then lift the hands only up towards the ceiling, palms pressing together. As you exhale, open the hands around to hold on to your knees, and then rotate the fingers in slightly towards your inner thighs. And drop your right shoulder into the middle of the pose, so you're pressing that right knee away from you. Gaze lifts over that left shoulder. On your next inhale, come through the center with the shoulders. And as you exhale, drop the left shoulder into the middle, lift the gaze over the right. When you're pressing that left knee away from you. Inhale to come through the center. As you exhale, bring both hands back to the floor, straighten up the legs so you come back into that wide leg fold. Turn the heels out. Bring the hands around towards your left foot, so you come through to pyramid, so the feet will turn with you, so all of the toes are facing the top edge of the mat. Take the weight onto your front foot, keep the back leg up to the ceiling into standing splits. Taking a couple of breaths here. If you want to, take the left hand around to the back of the calf muscle, so you're not pulling yourself into the leg, but just using it as a little bit of encouragement to come closer towards it. If you're feeling really brave, maybe the right hand can come off as well to hold on to the back of the ankle. Wherever you are, bring both fingers or all of your fingers to the ground and float that right foot down so you come into forward fold at the top of the mat. Keep the big toes touching, deep bend into the knees, come back into your chair pose. Arms are lifting up, sit bones sinking down. Using that Mula Bandha to support you, stay soft through the shoulders, take a full breath in. As you exhale, palms together, left elbow comes to right thigh. Oh, the sunshine is coming through the window, nice. Taking a couple of breaths here in this revolved chair pose. Keep the knees pressing together and see if we can pick up those left toes this time. So your heel squeezes up towards the buttock. Stay nice and squatted deep into that right thigh. Good, slowly take the pressure off the knees, reach that left foot back behind you, hold the floating as long as you can. Use the glutes. Yes, and then toes down at the back of the mat. Stay in that twisted lunge. So if you've lost it, right leg goes forwards. Again, either staying here for a couple of breaths or maybe open the arms out like wings on a bird, opening wide. Good, so you can lift the gaze if that's okay with neck and balance and breath and soul. And then slowly unravel your twist, coming to that high runner's lunge, arms lifting up. Exhale brings you into warrior two, opening the arms wide. Again, palms facing up to ceiling for this. So the shoulder blades can soften down. Spread the fingers open like you're offering something out in front of you. And then reversing that warrior. So left hand coming down, right arm lifting up and over. Lift the gaze to the fold of that top elbow. And think very slightly, those of you that are very mobile in the lower back, think almost tucking the tailbone just to stay really lengthened through that lower spine. Keep that feeling as you come back through your warrior two and into the extended side angle. So keep that sacrum lengthening under, left arm reaching over. Again, maybe lift the gaze or keep the head soft. You know your variations. Seem to be facing the wrong way on everything this evening. Slowly bring yourself back through warrior two. And then your right arm is going to wrap over the left, finding that eagle wrap of the arms. Reach your elbows forwards and up so you feel that opening, that stretch around the shoulder blades. Soften the head forwards into it. Feel the breath move into the back ribs. See if on an exhale you can sink a bit deeper into that right thigh. Engaging that mula bandha, contraction through perineum. Take another full breath in. As you exhale, drop the elbows towards the floor into this fold. So again, allow the body to sink over towards the right heel, but keep the shoulders facing that longer side of the mat. They're really strong through the legs, therefore really strong through the breath. Unravel that wrap of the arms, come back into your wide leg forward fold and rotate the toes with you again. Again, taking about 3 breaths here. I don't mind if there's any other variations you want to take. If any of you want to take your tripod headstand or anything you want to do, play around with it. And Gemma hasn't even got her screen on, but I imagine maybe she's upside down. If you are inverted, come back to feet on the floor. And again, bring the hands under shoulders, heel toe the feet back into that wide squat again. And then keep heel toeing them in so the big toes come to touch. Lift up the heels so you're on your tiptoes, and then sink into the knees so you sit down onto the heels of the feet. Good, get that good toe stretch. And see if you can take the hands off the floor, so think knees forward so that you can lift the chest upright. Bring the hands to heart center. Good, if you're feeling steady, see if you can close your eyes. Just notice all the muscles of the feet, the ankles, the shins, keeping you balanced. Find softness in it where you can. If your eyes are closed, reopen them again. And then bring your fingertips over to the right side of your mat. So fingertips down, your left forearm will just be against that right knee. As you inhale, come back through the center points and then bring the fingertips down over to the left. So your right forearm will be pressing against the side of the left knee. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, hands over to the right again. So you can drop the palms into the floor and then lift the hips up so there's more weight onto the hands. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, bring the hands down to the left, palms to the floor, lift the hips up so you take the weight into the hands. Inhale, come through center. Either repeat that again, or the palms come to the ground on the right side. So connect your left elbow against the outer side of the right knee. Lift your bum up a little bit and then swing your hips around so your hips or the side of your bum connects in with the right elbow as well. So your arms are kind of in chaturanga. Yeah, if you know where you're going, build it up to side crow. Come through center, try the other side. So arms or palms down to the left. Your right elbow connects to the outer side of right knee. Lift the hips up and swing the pelvis round so you're resting into both elbows. Come back through center. Again, either repeat that again if that feels where your challenge point is, or lift the hips up, swing the hips around so you're resting again into both elbows, and then maybe your next level is you float the toes up like your crow pose. Good, changing sides. Palms down to the left. Scoop up the legs. Travel weight forwards. Go to smell your mat. Toes float. Good, one more time to repeat. So if you're floating, just taking that next level, see if you can either straighten out both legs or split the legs. Your top leg will go back. You'll only be able to split the legs one way. You'll soon figure out which way they go, because you will fall off. And last side, we haven't switched sides already. Good job. Forward fold, so just lift the hips up, straighten up the legs. Heel toe the feet back out again. So you come all the way back out to your wide leg fold. Good. Turn towards your right foot. So you come into pyramid. All the toes facing the front of the mat. This should be the other leg. Take the weight forwards into right foot. Left foot lifts up, standing splits. Again, you can keep both hands on the floor or wrap the right hand around the back of the calf. Maybe the left hand as well. Whoa. And then float the floating foot down, so you come back into your forward fold at the top of the mat. Hanging out here for a couple of breaths to really let go of the weight of your head. Again, arms, any variation, you can hold onto back of calves or hold onto your elbows or just let the arms dangle. Take a couple of really big breaths. And then bring the fingertips to the floor. We'll continue with sun salutation. So take a halfway lift as you inhale. As you exhale, step or jump back to your chaturanga. Take the exhale all the way down. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, come back into your downward facing dog. Right leg lifts up. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, step through to between the hands. Coming into warrior one. So rotate the back foot to a diagonal. Reach the hands forwards and up. Gomakasana arms. So your left palm is going to drop down to the back of the neck. The right hand wraps around behind you. See if you can interlace the fingers together or just press the back of the hand, the palm, wherever they get to. See if your head can rest into the forearm behind you and have a sense of lifting the breastbone as you take a really big breath in. Exhale, lean forwards and down to come into humble warrior. You might want to wriggle that front foot open a little bit so that your shoulder can come towards the inside of that front knee. Now you do not have to get there on your first breath here, but see if your left elbow can come to just skim along the floor next to your foot. Some of you might be able to just rest lightly into that left point of the elbow. If you're a million miles away from that, then don't worry about it. That's something that really builds over time. Press through that front foot. Gonna come all the way back up again. Unravel those arms with both hands up to the ceiling. As you exhale, bring the hands to the floor, right leg back up to the ceiling, three-leg dog. Inhale at the top. Now bring three-point core into this. So your knee is going to come towards the right elbow. Inhale to lift the foot back up. Exhale to the left elbow. Inhale to reach back up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lifting up. Now bring your knee back over towards the left elbow. If you can, without touching the floor, reach your left foot out to the side. So keep kicking it out towards the left hand lifts up. If it's too strong, let the foot come down to the floor. Keep it hovering if you can. Left arm lifts up. Bring the left hand back to the floor, unravel the leg, kick it high to the ceiling, back into that three-leg dog. Keep the foot lifted if you can as you come through your chaturanga. So take the body forwards and float it down. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, back into your downward facing dog. 2 full breaths. Inhale for 1. Exhale. Inhale for 2. Exhale. Now lift the left leg high. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, step through to between the hands. Coming into warrior 1. So back foot anchors on that diagonal. Reach the arms up. As you exhale, the right palm comes to the back of the neck. Left hand comes around behind you. And see if you can wriggle to clasp the hands or press the hands into your back wherever they get to. Nice deep bend into that front leg. Take a full breath in as you lift the breastbone. And then exhale, travel forwards and down, finding that humble warrior with variation of arms. Again, see if over the course of the next couple of breaths, that right point of the elbow can bend closer towards the floor. Stay nice and strong through both legs. So nice and straight through that back leg. Gaze to the back big toe. Press through the front heel, really nice. Come all the way back up again, lift the arms. And as you exhale, what did we do from here? I've just totally gone blank. Anyone remember? I've gone literally totally blank. Oh, the hands to the floor, lift your left leg up to the ceiling. That's 3.4. Should have just looked at my book. As you exhale, bring your left knee towards your left elbow. Inhale to lift the foot up. Exhale, knee to your right elbow. Inhale to lift the foot up. Exhale, knee to your nose. Inhale to lift the foot. Now bring your knee back towards your right elbow. Kick the foot out to the side on the right. Your right hand can lift up. Maybe keep the foot floating, or maybe take the edge of the foot to the floor, just taking a breath. Slowly bring the hand back to the ground, unravel the leg so it lifts back up to the ceiling. And again, if you can, keep this foot floating as you roll through the vinyasa, chest coming forwards and down. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale back into your downward facing dog. 2 full breaths. Inhale for 1. Exhale. Inhale for 2. Exhale. Lift up onto the tiptoes as high as you can here in your downward dog. As you exhale, bring the knees to the floor. Take the knees a little bit wider than the body and come into a child's pose, hips to heels. Hands either reaching out in front of you or forehead resting onto hands. And just slowing down the breath. Feel the breath come wide into the ribs. Slowly coming onto the forearms, coming up into a dolphin pose. So elbows directly under the shoulders, spread the fingers open, tuck the toes, lifting the hips up to the ceiling. Relax the neck into it. Make sure the feet are hips distance apart, so if they're too close or too wide, just alter them in. Little bend in the knees if we need to, so the sit bones get a sense of really lifting or reaching up towards the ceiling. Feel that wrapping of the shoulder blades again. So push the ground away through the elbows. Those little fingers actively pressing into the floor, and you might be able to feel that little squeeze of muscle, your serratus, that's under the shoulder blades. See where you can soften. Deepen into the breath. Last couple of breaths here. On your exhale, bring the knees back to the floor. Again, come back into child's pose. This time, keep the knees a little bit closer together. So you can slide the arms down the sides of the legs, forehead resting to the ground. Just let the shoulders open and melt around the knees. Feel the breath move into the back ribs. Gently roll yourself through to a kneeling position. If we can, press into the fingertips so you kick your legs out in front of you through the hands, or sweep the legs around to one side. Don't overthink it, just get the legs out in front. Well done. So into Dandasana, both legs out straight. Bring the hands down to the sides of the hips, fingers spread open. Have a sense of pushing down into the floor and out to the side at the same time, but because you're pressing down, the hands don't move. But get that energetic feeling of pushing outwards through the hands. Helps if you have a really grippy mat. Keep the shoulder blades then down. Draw the shoulder blades together a little bit so the chest is open. Then really activate through the legs. So flex the feet, feel the quads fire up. The heels might hover off the ground just a millimeter or so. So you've been growing taller through the crown of the head. Everything feels pretty switched on in the body. I'll keep that strength of the posture. Just take the hands away from the floor and up to the ceiling, biceps to ears. Again, spread open through the fingers so everything in the body feels switched on. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, lean forwards, reaching out for the feet, breastbone coming forwards to toes. Relax over the legs into the fold. The hands don't reach the feet, just tuck them underneath the calf muscles, so we anchor them down a little bit. Take out any feeling of forcing from the shoulders. Soften where you can. And as always, keep a little bend in the knees if that feels more comfortable for your back. Taking about 2 more breaths here. And slowly begin to roll the spine back up straight again. Bend your left knee. Turn out the leg, so into Janu Shasana, sole of the foot to inner thigh. Again, take a full breath in as you find that activation and reaching through the body. Exhale, hinging forwards again into this fold, hands either wrapping around the foot or under the calf. Draw yourself over. So you're really rooted through the sit bones, or think the sit bones almost tipping back behind you, so you can create that lengthening from the lower spine. Feel the breath move. Slowly begin to roll yourself back up again. Now bend your right leg that you've just stretched over and interlace the fingers together around the base of the foot like a stirrup. Now lean back so that right foot lifts off the floor and keep the sole of the foot and the palms of the hands pressing in towards each other so you have a really good hold of it. Now keeping the shoulders back, the spine up straight. It doesn't matter if the leg doesn't straighten here. I'd rather your posture stay nice and tall. Start to extend the heel towards the ceiling. And if there's room to go further, then bend the elbows out to the sides like you would in Uttanasana fold, so the forehead comes towards that right shin. Stay as lifted as you can through the back. Take a couple of breaths. Good. Soften the shoulders, soften the neck. Good. Take a bend back into that right knee if it's out straight. Now you're going to turn your body slightly on an angle towards the left. So carry this foot around into the Gomukhasana. So you've turned slightly on a weird angle. You've placed your right leg on top of the left one. So the knees ideally can stack if they can. Otherwise, anywhere as far as they can get to. Bring the left arm up to the ceiling and drop that down the back like we did in that Warrior One variation. Right hand coming around behind you to interlace the fingers. Rest the head into the forearm behind you. Take a full breath in. As we exhale, lean the breastbone forwards. That might be a millimeter of leaning. That might mean a full connection of breastbone to knee. If you have that full connection, then start to round. So again, like the warrior one variation, think left elbow drawing towards the floor. Now, because you have legs in the way, the elbow will not touch the ground necessarily. Just take it as far over as feels available. Breathe a little bit deeper, see where the body goes. And slowly begin to straighten yourself up and unravel the arms. Turn yourself back square on the mat, unraveling the legs out in front of you. Both legs out straight, lift the arms, take a full breath in. Finding that same Paschimottanasana fold, reaching out for feet, for toes, for calves, for floor. Taking a couple of breaths here in the fold. Feel the opening around your back and around your spine. Slowly begin to roll yourself up. So bending the right knee, open out the legs, the sole of the foot against the left thigh. Take a breath in again to lift, and a breath out again to fold. Couple of deep breaths, find softness into it. Slowly begin to roll yourself back up and bend this left knee with you. So again, the hands interlace around the foot like that stirrup, and I'm pressing those together so you can lift the heel, lift out the posture, soften the shoulders, keep that as strong and as tall as you can. Then maybe the leg starts to lengthen. Then maybe you start to bring the forehead to shin and the elbows will go wide to keep the shoulders down. Doesn't matter if the leg doesn't straighten, keep the spine tall. It's an awkward pose. Start to soften out a bit. So bend this knee. We're coming into the Gomukhasana. So pass your foot over towards the right. You'll be on that weird diagonal pose. Stacking one knee on top of the other. Try and root the sit bones down. Your right arm is going to lift up and place down the back of the neck. Left arm comes around behind you, maybe the interlace of the fingers. Inhale to lift. Exhale, leaning forward, so keeping that spine as straight and as long as we can. Keep the sit bones rooted. Again, really deepen into the breath. See where the breath takes you. Slowly start to unravel, unfold, unravel the arms, unravel the legs back out in front of you again. This time keep the knees bent so feet are on the floor and make sure you're in the middle of the mat. So you can roll down onto your back, bring the legs in with you, hug the knees in towards the chest and take a gentle rock side to side on the spine. Let the arms open out to the sides, keep the knees rocking side to side. Take that as big or as small or as slow or as fluid as you want to take it. If you want to drop into a twist and hold for a few breaths, please do. Any variations, anything that feels good. Working your way into a Shavasana when you're ready. And lots of folding, so I'd advise that you keep the legs out flat, so the front of the hips can just open softly. But as always, if it's not comfortable for the back, then take what you need.
Soften the shoulders down, soften the back of the neck. Maybe close the eyes if that feels comfortable. Soften away any Ujjayi sound now, so the breath feels a little bit more effortless. Remember again, maybe any intention that you had set. It's okay if that has come in, it's okay if it was completely forgotten, it's okay if it didn't happen. But just acknowledge now how you feel on that physical level, on an energetic level, and on the emotional level. Lots of twisting this evening, very healthy. The spinal cord, the vagus nerve connecting the brain to the gut. Very healthy for the organs, the digestion. It's allowing everything to soften into stillness. And of course, if you have time to indulge in a longer Shavasana this evening, then please feel free to make the most of the time. If you're ready to close your practice, begin to wiggle the ankles or the wrists, deepen the breath. Bending the knees if they aren't already, so your feet find the ground. And you all know your practice. Find your own way in your own time up to seated. That's whenever you are upright. Then reclosing the eyes. Just close your practice this evening, bringing to mind one thing that you can feel grateful for today. Acknowledge one thing that you like about yourself today. And recognize how getting to your yoga mat has served you today. And closing that to the heart center. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, bow the head to your hands. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. Thank you, guys.